Did not have the opportunity to talk about Wicked for Good's a massive box office performance at the beginning of this week, mostly because I had better things to talk about. But at this point in time, I mean, with a very, very, very small amount of time it's been in the theaters, it is already well on its way to be one of the best performing films of the year. And honestly, it's not really that much of a surprise. Okay, so Wicked for Good's box office sees a record-breaking debut, but trouble could be coming in the second weekend. And well, we aren't going to have the concrete numbers until, God, it's probably going to be delayed a couple of days. So maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday before we get the second weekend numbers because of Thanksgiving after all. So yeah, it's going to be a minute before we can go ahead and properly assess what, if any, kind of a drop off there is. But yeah, this film, at least among its fan base, has very good word of mouth, okay, from the critics out there. It apparently, okay, even the early reviews did not hinder it at all whatsoever because yeah, record-breaking weekend. And in fact, a little bit of a spoiler here. Let's see if I have it pulled up because I got a comparison. It's actually performing better out the gate than the original Wicked did from last year, okay, because we just take a look at the numbers. Might as well do that right now as it sits right now with the most up-to-date actuals that we have. $177 million domestically, a grand total of 254 million, just about 255 million when you factor in the 77 million international box office. Yeah, it's easily gonna crest 300 million this weekend. And there's no kink in your head to decide going, actually, it is going to make money. Actually, if you factor in the merchandising. No. It's a $150 million budget. Not entirely sure what the marketing budget is. And yeah, even if you just go 2-3 weeks, I'll go ahead and just give you a little bit of extra time right there. This thing is going to turn a massive profit. And with the, well, not really that much competition between now and Avatar coming out, okay, like there's a good possibility that this thing makes more than the 756 million that Wicked 1 made last year. And so yes, Universal Pictures is celebrating a monster opening weekend for Wicked for Good, storming into theaters with a record-breaking box office start that instantly places it among the biggest musical debuts in history. According to the early box office reporting, Wicked for Good scored a 150 million domestic and 226 million worldwide box office, topping expectations and proving that modern movie-going audience will still turn out massive numbers when the brand is strong enough and when you make movies for a specific audience instead of trying to force your agenda on at one point in time very successful IPs like, say, I don't know, Predator Badlands. Let's check in on that one here real quick. How we living? 163 million. I'll just go ahead and round up for you. I'll spot you $100,000. And how are you coming in on your projections? Well, the graph kind of speaks for itself. It's not even going to make $200 million. Okay, because we take a look at the dailies. The last weekend, $6.5 million, down 50% from down 68% in its second weekend. And yeah, it's had multiple 6-digit days. And it's kind of looking like the entire third week of its run is destined to be in the 6-digit club. Like, it's done. It's cooked. It's dusted for all those people. It's the best performance. It's the best opening weekend of the franchise. Yeah, it really looked like, your quote-unquote good word of mouth really fucking helped you out there. That's what happens when you try to make Predator a grow brand. Okay, when you put in your own little version of Baby Grogu, when you have your little Elle Fanning exposition bot, when you have the misunderstood runt Predator who likes to talk about his daddy issues. That's what you get when you force femininity on a masculinity brand. But when Wicked comes out and it is unabashedly feminine, guess what? It turns out a record-breaking performance. Big fucking shock, huh? Yes, Wicked for Good's box office launch is now officially the biggest opening ever for a Broadway adaptation, surpassing last year's Wicked by a huge margin. It also landed the third largest musical debut of all time, behind the Lion King remake and the Beauty and the Beast remake, which both of those make me very, very sad. But anyways, internationally, the movie hit major milestones across the UK and multiple European markets, where it posted the best November openings ever for a Broadway-based film. Should be noted, however, that yes, more than 50% of the global box office came from the domestic ticket sales, meaning the movie is a juggernaut in North America and may not be playing as well in certain overseas markets. Well, that was the case with the first Wicked as well. And so things are tracking similarly. And if that remains the same, well, it's going to be bigger than the first one, 100%. And so, yeah, there are some people that are out there that just want to try to poke holes in it. But honestly, it's like, this is something that I don't give a flying fuck about, okay? You want to have your musicals, you want to have your sympathetic villain origin stories. Okay, you go ahead and do that over there. Have fun, keep the creeps in the cage. I don't really care, man. And if you're trying to say that, Zootopia 2, oh my god, it's going to come in and it's going to steal all the momentum from Wicked, like the Boxwine Ants, they're probably going to go back and they're going to sing along with all the songs that they know and all the new ones that are out there. I'm sure that there's going to be multiple viewings, and there's probably going to be another sing-along extravaganza that'll come around because that was popular with the first one. Why wouldn't it be the case with the second one? And Zootopia, it's kind of angling after a different audience, especially if it's going to have a darker tone. So yes, we've got the Wednesday numbers, and that's, including previews, and yeah, $39.5 million opening. Zootopia 2, yeah, it's going to be really strong. What's that ultimately going to look like over Thanksgiving? Time will tell. Like I said, we'll get the numbers here come Tuesday or Wednesday. But Wicked, yeah, we don't have the projections there or the actuals at all. So those are the two widest openings, 4,000 screens for Zootopia, and you got Wicked checking in at its most recent update at 4,100 theaters. So it actually has the most screens. So yes, Hollywood is saved, at least for another weekend. And if you're looking for any kind of job security, well, apparently it pays to be a part of the wider Wizard of Oz universe, because Wicked sequel's being figured out at Universal Pictures. Yeah, we got a sequel to Wicked. It's called The Wizard of Oz. But okay, things are underway to see how we can continue in this universe, because for the love of God, we have to give Ariana Grande some work, because she has to be able to make her grocery bill, for fuck's sakes. After Wicked for Good's record-breaking start at the box office, Universal Pictures is ready for more stories set in the land of Oz. Michael Moses, the studio's chief marketing officer, told Vulture that things are underway to continue the Wicked franchise on the screen. I mean, when you're making $750 and probably $900 million with a sequel, you would be a fool, you would be irresponsible not to do this stuff. Okay, whether that means a new movie or a television series remains to be seen, but Universal is clearly interested in expanding the world of Wicked and keeping the franchise very much alive, because Wicked's success, but also the fanship, we have almost a responsibility to figure out how we can continue in this universe, which, yeah, I'm totally fine with. Like I said before, there are different horses for different courses, and if you like this type of stuff, fantastic, good for you. I'm glad that there is something out there for everybody. It's just, we have our own stuff. That's another topic for another time. Have we figured it out yet? No, but things are underway. Oh, okay, cool. So how can we mine this IP even more? Moses' comments follows a recent revelation from Steven Schwartz, who wrote and composed all of the Wicked songs for the musical. He told The Ankler, okay, that he already has an idea for a new Wicked-related project based on the idea he's been cooking up with the musical's book writer, Winnie Holzman. Wow, there's a lot of similarities here. But anyways, I think Glinda and Elphaba's story feels complete, but there are other aspects that could be explored. Gregory Maguire, the original Wicked novelist, the several books, for example, but there's another idea that Winnie and I are discussing, not a sequel, but an adjunct. Let me put it that way. Wicked is based on Gregory Maguire's 95 novel, Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. To Schwartz's point, Maguire has written 8 sequel novels, and there's no shortage of material to pull from for, yes, a potential new movie. Which, yeah, no, sure, fantastic, okay? Go ahead and do it. If that's what you want, fine. And if these are the lessons that Hollywood learns, okay, cool, you got a successful franchise. Let's continue to expound on that. If that's what they learn, fantastic. But this is Hollywood we're talking about. Okay, they're never going to learn the right lessons. They're just going to look at Wicked and go, you know who's a big movie star? Cynthia Erivo. Erivo? No, Erivo. That's her Japanese counterpart. But Erivo, so much so that she's going to be a Dracula's. She's going to be a Dracula's. Well, I can't say that it's bad casting, but Cynthia Erivo will play Dracula in a new adaptation of Bram Stoker's classic. Oh, shit. Okay, so she's going to be the go-to when it comes to adaptations. Well, I can't say that Wicked is great literary work, but I can say, Wizard of Oz is. But okay, so Cynthia Erivo has been announced as the lead in the new West End production of Dracula, prompting renewed conversation as the Tony-winning actress once again steps into a role historically portrayed by a man. Cynthia Erivo's Dracula announcement comes on the heels of 2 of the headline-making moments, her being on the cover of GQ's Men of the Year issue, because there we go, once again, a male brand, Gentleman's Quarterly, doesn't stand for gigantic queer, but at this point in time, what's the difference? But yes, trying to force femininity on a male brand, and well, the fact that happened and I didn't even hear about it kind of lets you know everything about these types of publicity stunts. And her casting, yes, last year as Jesus Christ in a large-scale production of Jesus Christ Superstar. So yeah, her, and if, you know, they can attach a string to the, one of Ariana Grande's ankles, and during a stiff wind, if they can float her over to a different set, like a kite, they're going to be the go-tos, a la Pedro Pascal, to try to ride a hot hand for films and productions moving forward for the next couple of years while they try to formulate different Wicked spin-offs. Case in point, you know, Erivo, she's got the Dracula gig, she had the Jesus Christ gig, and for a while now she's been pining for the Storm gig over there at X-Men, which we have heard recently that Kevin Feige is, you know, all systems go after Avengers Secret Wars with the X-Men, and you know that they are dumb enough to do this, but in the way that the Wicked press tour was going about, I mean, they better cast Ariana Grande as somebody else in order for her to mentally survive this, because heaven forbid a helicopter flies over one of her interviews. But also, if she was overwhelmed by the press coverage of Wicked, you ain't seen nothing yet, especially, like, I know Marvel's a bit on the decline, and a bit is quite an understatement, but this is going to be live-action X-Men. This is going to be MCU X-Men. And while this is just her trying to put this out into the world to try to manifest the casting, I truly hope it happens, and I think that it is very realistic, because this is Disney that we're dealing with, and the entire through line of this video has been a forcing femininity into a male brand. That is Disney's specialty at this point, and tanking a franchise is that rancid gravy over that shit pie that they love to construct. So yeah, don't think that they're dumb enough to do it. Don't think that this is too outlandish to think. I'm just wondering at the same time if they're going to be casting Cynthia Erivo as Storm, they try to call back Ellen Page to see if she wants to play Kitty Pryde again. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo, and I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.